Hi, Math 2 Enhanced. We're on page 9 discussing complex numbers. So complex numbers have a real part and imaginary part. We write them as A plus, for example, BI, where A is a real number and BI is an imaginary number, hence the I, the imaginary part. So what are imaginary numbers? Well, we define I squared as equaling -1. So I is not a variable like X. I is a variable more like, or I is more like pi or E. It represents something. So I squared represents -1. And if I take that I squared equals -1, and I take the square root of both sides, I get I equals the square root of -1. And as you know, we're up until now, we weren't able to do the square root of negative numbers. But now we're going to be able to do the square root of negative numbers because we're going to find that they're equal to I. So how do we use this? Well, let's look at some things that we're familiar with. Let's do the square root of -4 up here, and the square root of -25. And how about we do the square root of -20, and let's also do the square root of negative. So the square root of -4 can be thought of as the square root of 4 times the square root of -1. And the square root of 4 is 2, and the square root of -1 is now going to be I for us. How about the square root of -25? Well, I'm going to think about that as the square root of 25 times the square root of -1. The square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of -1 is now I. Anytime we have a negative number, we can do its square root. It's going to be an imaginary number. So what about something like 20 or 50? Well, 20 is not a perfect square, and I don't really want to think about it as 10 times 2. I want to think about it as a product with a perfect square. So I'm going to think about it as the square root of 4 times the square root of 5 times the square root of -1. And I get a 2 from the 4, I get an I from the -1, and I get a 5, the square root of 5 just stays. This is how we write them. We write the number part first, the 2, the 5, and we write the square root part last. And so the I would be in the middle in that example. So how about the -50? I'm going to think about this as not 5 times 10, but I'm going to think about it as 25, the perfect square, times the square root of 2, times the square root of -1. The square root of 25 is 5. I'm going to write my I next for the square root of -1. I'm going to finish with my square root of 2. And that's how I would use my square root of -1 is now I. So what else do we do with these numbers? Well, sometimes we add them. So let's take two complex numbers. I've got 3 plus 4i. The 3 is the real part, and the 4i is the imaginary part, and together they are a complex number. So I'm going to add this to 7 minus 2i. So when you're adding, it's basically like combining like terms. Let's drop our parentheses. We get 3 plus 4i plus 7 minus 2i. I'm going to combine the 3 and the 7. I'm going to combine the 4 minus 2i. And my answer for this one is going to be 10 plus 2i. I've got my real part and I've got my imaginary part. We would not write this as 2i plus 10. You don't put the imaginary part first. You put the real part first. Okay, you guys, so let's take a look at a subtraction problem. So we'll do the same 3 plus 4i. Let's now subtract the same 7 minus 2i. So in this one, before I drop my parentheses, I need to make sure I distribute my negative. And this will give me 3 plus 4i minus 7 plus 2i. And again, I'm going to combine the 3 and the 7, the 4i and the 2i, and this time I get -4, my real part, plus 6i, my imaginary part. So how about multiplying complex numbers? Well, when you're multiplying two binomials, you use the same FOIL box method that we're used to. So let's take a look at a problem like that. 7 minus 3i times 8 minus or plus 5i if you don't mind. So I'm going to do it with box, but foil is great. And I've got my 7 minus 3i across the top, my 8 plus 5i down the side. My 7 times 8 is 56. My negative 3i and 8 is negative 24i. My 5 times 7 is 35i. And my negative 3 times 15 is negative 15i squared. So my 4 terms I get are 56 plus 24i plus 35i minus 15i squared. So there's 2 things I have to do. Combine my like terms. So I have my 56 plus 11i minus 15i squared. Secondly, I squared, we learned up at the top, I squared is equal to negative 1. So we're going to substitute that negative 1 in. We're never going to leave an I squared in my problem. We're always going to put a negative 1 in anywhere I see an I squared. So negative 15 times I squared is really negative 15 times a negative 1, which is really a positive 15. So this is really 56 plus 11i plus 15. So now I'm going to combine my like terms, putting my real part at the front, and I get 71 plus 11i for my final answer. So what about distribution problems? Let's do negative 3i times 6 plus 7i. So just like always, we're going to distribute that negative 3i. So I get negative 18i, and then this gives me a negative 21i squared. But we were just talking about anytime I see an I squared, I'm going to substitute in a negative 1 for it. So it's really negative 21 times a negative 1, which is positive 21. The real part goes first, any imaginary part goes second, and I get 21 minus 18i. So let's do a few more square roots to just practice this. So let's say I have a negative 9 square root and a negative 49. How about on row 2? Let's do a square root of negative 17 and the square root of negative 21. And then how about we do the square root of negative 12 and the square root of negative 48. Why don't you pause this video, try to do those 6 problems, and come back and see how you did. Welcome back. How did you do? So the first 2 are pretty straightforward square roots. It's just since they're negative numbers, I have an I. The second 2 are square roots that I cannot simplify, but I can always pull out the negative 1. So I always take the I out in front. So now let's look at 3. First of all, make sure you're doing the integer part, the I, and then the radical as far as the way you order it. And take a look at the square root of negative 48. Did you completely simplify that one? Because sometimes kids will say it's 4, for instance. So they'll do square root of 4 times square root of negative 1 times square root of 12. And they'll write this as 2i square root of 12. But that square root of 12 is just not simplified. There's another 4 in there you can pull out. Hence, you get the 4 in front, and then you get the square root of 3 left over. So make sure that you are completely reducing your radical when necessary. So let's take a look at some of these problems at the bottom. So on the first row, these were problems we were just doing. So we know the square root of negative 4 is 2i. We know the square root of negative 25 is 5i. So what happens when you have something in front? Remember, this is 2 times the square root of negative 4. So that's 2 stays out in front, and the square root of negative 4 is another 2i. So my final answer for that one would be 4i. So what about something like negative 32? Well, negative 32 is 4 times 8, but more than that, 16 goes into it. It's best to think about this one as the square root of 16. I'm going to throw that negative 1 in the middle if that's okay, times the square root of 2. And the square root of 16 is my 4. The square root of negative 1 is my I. And then that leaves my square root of 2. What if there was a negative in front of that? Well, this is really like a negative 1 times this. So it's negative 1 times all of that. The square root of 16, the square root of negative 1, the square root of 2. So it's negative 1 times that 4 times that I times that square root of 2. So I'd get negative 4i square root of 2 simply because there was a negative out in front. And this is actually the same problem. So why don't we switch it up and do something different? Let's do negative 2 square root of negative 24. So this is like a negative 2 times whatever I get for the square root of negative 24. And 24 is 4 times 6. So I'm going to do square root of 4 times the square root of negative 1 times the square root of 6. So I get negative 2 times I times square root of 6. So this 2 times 2 would be giving me a negative 4I square root of 6 as my answer. What about these last two down here? Okay, so sometimes when I'm doing quadratic formula, I get things like this, or things that are even look a little more complicated. So I'm just going to do it piece by piece. So I have my 3 plus or minus. 25 is a perfect square, so I get a 5, and the negative gives me an I all over 7. Now we never write our complex numbers. We don't write complex numbers over just one denominator. Instead, we split it up. So we're going to write our 3 over 7 plus or minus our 5I over 7. We do that because this is my real part, and this is my imaginary part. And we just don't write them over the same denominator. So they would be over separate denominators. And if you could simplify each one as a fraction, I definitely would be simplifying. So let's check that out over here. So I get 2 plus or minus 2I over 6. So in this one, remember it's 2 over 6 plus or minus 2I over 6. So that gives me 1/3 plus or minus I over 3. You could say 1I if you like 1I. It's fine. Okay, so let's take a look at the next page at the top here. So here is more subtraction problems. Subtraction problems are really where mistakes can be made. Normally, it's because you just don't distribute the negative to both terms. So we get 2 plus I minus 3 plus 2I. And so that looks like it's negative 1 plus 3I for my answer. And then here we're going to distribute them, and we get 5 plus 3I minus 1 plus 2I. So it looks like we're getting 4 plus 5I for our answer. Now when you distribute, we're going to make sure that we multiply our negative 3 times our 7. We get negative 21I. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6I squared. And I know that my negative 6, my I squared part's negative 1. So it's negative 6 times a negative 1, which is a positive 6. So I'm going to write it in front because it's my real part, minus 21I, my imaginary part. So 5 times 3 is 15. 5 times 2 is 10. I square root of 2. Remember, you wouldn't do the 5 and times rad 2 and get rad 10 anyways because they're not like terms. And we can't multiply things that are not like terms. So that wouldn't even be something I'd have to worry about. And now we're to our box or FOIL problems. I'm going to FOIL these with you, but what are we looking at? 24 plus 12I minus 28I minus 14I squared. So let's put our i's together. We get 24 minus 16I minus 14I squared. But anytime I see an I squared, I'm always going to substitute in a negative 1. And that gives me a positive 14. Positive 14 and a positive 24, I believe, is 38 minus my imaginary part, negative 16I. So 14 is an example of conjugates. So first of all, since they're complex numbers, real and imaginary parts, we call them complex conjugates. And because they're the same, 5 and 2I, 5 and 2I, and they only differ by the plus minus, my inner and outer terms are going to cancel. And so these usually look a little weird when you do them. So let's check it out. 5 times 5 would give me 25. 2I plus 5 gives me 10I. Negative 2I times 5 is my negative 10I. And my 2I times 2I is negative 4I squared. So my 10i's just canceled. And on my 4I squared, I know that this is negative 1. And negative 4 and a negative 1 is a positive 4. So I have 25 times a 25, sorry. 25 plus 4 should give me an answer of 29.